Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Phatkat Collections. Guys, today I'm excited again to share with you another Invicta watch. You guys know I've been reviewing Invicta watches for quite some time. I'm one of the OGs on YouTube for Invicta reviews. But remember, guys, even though the channel has changed a lot over the years when it comes to the different products that I review, I'm always going to have Invicta watches on the channel. I know I get sometimes some comments from me like, oh man, I wish you'd have more watches. You know, watches are pricey, and we're talking pricey when it comes to just like affordable watches, right? You guys know I'm never one to ever condone or to rationalize purchasing a watch over a certain dollar amount. Again, always buy what you like, buy what makes you happy. But for me, I get a lot of enjoyment out of $200 to $300 watches. That's kind of my sweet spot. That's my comfort zone. It doesn't mean I can't afford a super expensive, Rolex. It doesn't mean I can't afford something in the $100,000 price range. No, that's way beyond me. But a Rolex is an affordable item. It's more expensive than a lot of other watches, but it's not something that people are. It's not unobtainable. If people want it, if middle class folks want it, they can get it. So just remember that when you see guys with their nose up in the air talking like, oh, there's Rolex is just a cut above. Remember that there's a lot of amazing watches out there. If you don't like Invicta, there's tons of different brands out there. I've reviewed over 300 watches, I think, on this channel. All different brands. There's something for everyone. And remember, when it comes to watch collecting, it's not really meant to be taken too seriously. Remember that you're not better than anybody else for the type of watch that you wear, the brand that you wear, how much money you have. What makes a person special and have character is how they treat other people. Now, I'm not saying if you don't come on my channel and start running your mouth, you're not going to get it back, but always be respectful of other people like. And I will tell you that with all the years of experience of me reviewing and sharing different watches, I can tell you that curve that they talk about with quality and, how a lot of people will say that these luxury watches are just a cut above, there are differences in quality, absolutely. And even with this Invicta, there's differences in quality between Invictas, which I want to share with you guys. Remember that it's just meant to be fun. It's meant to enjoy and to collect. And there's, ultimately, a $200 Invicta is going to be more accurate than any Rolex ever made. So just keep that in mind, even the inexpensive one. So let's talk about the Invicta today. So the reason I said that, guys, because I want you guys to know that even if you watch me for a while and you're like, oh man, he doesn't review a lot of watches, I'm always going to review watches. And my advice to some of you who are like, oh man, one guy the other day was like, I'm unsubscribing, you don't review watches. I'm like, dude, did you watch my 300 other videos on watches? Like 150 Invicta videos and several, like another 100 different watch videos. So it's like, unless you've watched every one of my watch videos, I don't want to hear you complain, right? So anyway, guys, for the guys who love Invicta, and I do too, here we go. Here it is. Ooh, man. Guys, gentlemen, this is my second 5 time zone Shack edition of, this is a Jacob & Company homage. And what's really interesting about this is after getting it in the gold, I kind of realized something else about the watch. And that's that it's almost like a hybrid. It's like a homage to a Nautilus by Phatkat. I believe it's Phatkat. I think it's the Phatkat. I always get the two confused because I'm not a luxury watch guy. Phatkat, and yeah, I think it's the Patek Philippe Nautilus. I think I always get the Patek Philippe Nautilus and the Royal Oak confused. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's Nautilus by Phatkat. It's definitely called the Nautilus. And the Nautilus. Let me just take this off. This watch is just unbelievable, guys. And I'm gonna give you guys my story. I'll have to talk. Let's take a look at some close-ups here. Oh man, look at that! Look at that! Unbelievable. Now, guys, also on a side note here, I want you guys, I'm recording on a sponsored camera right here, which I'm going to debate whether I am going to continue to record on this. It's an inexpensive Amazon camera, about 150 bucks, comes with everything, and it records in 4K. So right now I'm recording in 4K. Let me guys know, drop me a comment and let me know what you guys think of the quality versus some of my most recent videos. My most recent videos are recorded in HD on a Canon camcorder, like a handy cam. This is a 4K, 60 frames per second, kind of Amazon Chinese special, I'm curious to see if it makes a difference. So here it is here. So we'll know with the close-ups here how well it zooms. From what I can tell right now, from what I'm seeing, it seems like it's a little bit blurry when I get up close like that. So we will see. You guys, drop me a comment. Let me know. I'm definitely thinking that that's not able to get close which is kind of a problem when you're reviewing watches, right? So we'll keep it at this distance. And you guys know I'll re-review this watch again at a later date. So what I was talking about when it comes to the Nautilus case is that the Nautilus has a case that kind of flares out around the crown and, of course, on the opposite end of the watch. And if you look at Invicta, their Aquala, their original Aquala or Kula, depending on how you say it, I'm not really sure exactly how you say it, it's basically a giant homage to the Nautilus watch. And so the Nautilus is what, I don't know, like $20,000. It's just ridiculous to me. So if you like that style watch, and I do like that design of the case, I actually ordered one of those years ago, or maybe it was, maybe a couple years ago, and Invicta stores never ended up sending it. You know, they said it was available, and then I waited 14 days, and they never sent it. So they said, oh, it's out of stock, sorry. So that was unfortunate, but either way, it's, you know, these things happen normally with Invicta stores. Speaking of Invicta stores, link is in the description of every video. Some of you guys comment like, hey, how do you get it? It's in the description, if it's available, of course. So that's a cool watch. But anyway, I like that they did that. I didn't realize that until recently. Now, I have this watch in the black, and I liked it so much in black, I had to get the gold. And the price was right on it. It was about 200 bucks. It's just an incredible piece. Now, this is a big watch, and I will say that in my opinion, as far as how a watch wears, and that's something that's talked about quite a bit, and that phrase is used quite a bit in the watch community. It wears larger, you know, and I'm always kind of I'm always kind of skeptical. People are like, oh, well, it wears like a larger watch. You know, I feel like a watch wears exactly what the size is. So if a watch is 50 millimeter, it's going to wear like a 50. But with that being said, I do kind of feel like this watch wears a little bit larger. And what I mean by that is based on the design. If you compare this watch to like your Sea Hunter, which is the biggest watch Invicta makes, it looks larger. And the reason for that, it's still a 58 millimeter bezel measurement, just like the Sea Hunter. The Sea Hunter has that huge crown protector and function pushers, which adds to the size of the case. So Invicta refers to that watch, they're like, oh, it's 73 millimeter. Again, you have to be careful with the sizing so you're not disappointed. When you order a watch, you might be thinking, oh my God, it's a 70 millimeter. I have 58. This is going to be huge, but it's not. It's really a 58 millimeter watch. Watches are measured at the bezel. I feel like anything else you get is just icing on the cake. So it adds to the size, of course, because, you know, the function pushers and crown protector on that watch are so large, naturally the watch is going to wear larger. And so with this watch, I feel like this watch wears even larger than Sea Hunter because the way they did this watch with the face, there's less bezel and more face. So you get the illusion that the watch is actually much larger than it actually is. If I had to guess, I saw two people wearing a Sea Hunter and wearing this watch, again, both 58 millimeters at the bezel, I would say this watch is closer to like a 65, 63, 65, and the Sea Hunter is more like a 58. It's just the way the watch measures. Even though the Sea Hunter technically, probably, I believe the measurement from side of the case to the crown protector is larger than this, this just looks huge. This is a killer piece. Now, I have it in the black with that black mother of pearl. And what you have on here, I'm not going to get too close so we can still keep it in focus. You have a inner ring of black mother of pearl. It's very slight. It's kind of a complaint I have with some of the Invicta watches with black mother of pearl. You know, when you see these things on like the home shopping networks and stuff, they have the perfect lighting and they really make the colors pop. To the naked eye, if you kind of move this around the light, if you know what mother of pearl looks like, you can tell that it is mother of pearl, but it's very subtle. It's almost not noticeable. You can see it, but it's not something that somebody's going to see on your wrist and be like, ooh, that's beautiful mother of pearl. It looks pretty much the same as that outer ring on the face. You do have the mother of pearl on each time zone, the 5 time zone. This is done kind of a yellowish, kind of a pale yellow mother of pearl. And then you have genuine diamonds around each one of those time zones. This is, I'm a huge fan of Jacob & Company watches. That's kind of that luxury brand that I've always said if I was like filthy rich, you know, millionaire tomorrow, and I could just piss money away on nonsense, that's a company I'd probably have a few of their watches. But that's really the only company. You know, like, again, Rolex, Omega, I appreciate those brands, but they don't really do anything for me emotionally. I don't get any real enjoyment out of that particular style. Nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong, I have homage watches, I wear them, but again, there's a time and a place for every watch. I always find a time and a place, but these are the ones that really excite me and get me passionate about. These are the ones that I'm wearing. You can see people's eyes just moving towards the watch. They're attention getters. They're going to get people asking you questions. You're going to get compliments on them. They're just a beautiful pieces of art. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to get a little bit closer here. You probably can't see the genuine diamonds, which is unfortunate for this camera, but it is what it is. So again, I'll put links in the description. You can check out pics and see these close up. As far as measurement, again, 58 millimeters on the case. You probably have a measurement here. I don't have calipers. We call these 80s calipers, the rolling ruler. This is old school. But if we want to measure that, I'll give you guys a rough measurement here. You're looking at about 65 if we include the crown and the edge of the case there. And it's just a massive piece, guys. This is, again, of all the Invictas I have, and I have over 150 watches, give or take. I think I'm close to 160 now. But I have about maybe 60, 80 Invictas. This is the biggest one that I have like 5 Sea Hunters. I have like 8 Grand Arsenals, which is my favorite Invicta. But I gotta tell you, this one's kind of taken over. I feel like this now is really my favorite Invicta. And again, going back to Jacob & Company, they made, originally one of their earlier watches was the 5 time zone, the world is yours kind of watch. They called it with the world map and all that. And they kind of pioneered this 5 time zone look. These are individual time zones. You can adjust each one. Each one is powered by a Miyota. I think it's a 2025, which we want to talk about in a second. And it's just a stunning piece. You have mirror polishing around the case, a little bit of mirror polishing around the bezel, a combination of mirror polishing and brush finish. There, as far as I can tell, no matte finishes on this. Invicta, one thing I love about Invicta is they always do a lot of different textures when it comes to finishing. So you'll have the combination of polished, sandblasted, or matte finish, and then brushed. And a lot of times they incorporate that in just a plain old yellow gold watch. You'll have 3 different finishing, and it gives the illusion that there's dimension and more going on in the watch than just a boring regular old watch. So absolutely stunning piece. Threaded back, of course, on these. As far as the specs, and you guys know I never really get too involved in the specs, you have 58 millimeter case again, stainless steel, 316L stainless steel, which is plated in 14 karat gold. Some guys asked about the plating quality. Some of my Invictas are over 7 years. I wear them all the time. Never had any issues of plating problems coming off wearing. They are super durable watches. 8 inches in band length, so if you're a big dude, your big wrist, this will fit you. And remember, that's 8 inches in band length. I don't know if that includes actually the watch, but most of the guys I've talked to with these watches that comment on the channel have no problem sizing these. With this watch, I have a 7-inch wrist, and I had to remove, I believe, 4 links, and there's room to remove 3 more on this. 330 feet of water resistance, standard Invicta milled deployant clasp with the safety lock. A lot of times, Aragon uses the dual push button, which I kind of like, but I've never had issues with these. They don't fall off. And the carat weight on this is about 0.5, let's round up, 0.60 carats in total diamond weight. They are genuine stones, but they don't have any kind of information as far as quality, but who really cares? It's just absolutely awesome, guys. Band on this, if you are familiar with the Grand Octanes, very similar band. It's slightly different, but if you're familiar with the Grand Octane bands, it's almost identical. So huge, chunky, gorgeous watch. Definitely, guys, if you haven't picked up one of these, get one. I have this in the black with the gold accents, and then again, I had to get it in the gold because gold is my favorite color in a watch. I was kind of drawn towards the stainless steel and blue. As far as color options, they make a red and black, the black and gold, the gold. They make a couple two-tone variations, which are gorgeous too. And then, of course, that blue and silver really, just a really nice casual color combination. I really like that too. But I had to go with the gold. I know if I didn't order one of these, I would have kicked myself. So, and that's the thing. When you get so many watches, it's like, all right, well, when do you stop? And Invicta always makes something that reels me back in. So definitely check it out, guys. This is a fantastic piece. So without further ado, one thing I always pride myself on, if you're new to the channel, is showing you what the watch looks like on the wrist. You guys can see close-up pictures all over the internet to see what the details are, but seeing it on the wrist gives you a different perspective. So I am about 5'7.5". I weigh about 185 pounds right now, and I have a 7-inch wrist. So this is what a watch looks like on a guy my size, my height, and my weight. You can see massive watch, guys. Look at the size of that watch. And remember, when I did a review on this before, if you caught my other video on this in the black, yeah, the black is stunning also, but the gold, I mean, black is slimming, remember that. So, but when you look at it in the gold, it is just a beast of a watch. I mean, look at how large this is from a distance. I mean, this is going to get you noticed. Now, if you're, again, the kind of guy who doesn't want to get noticed, that's okay too. Invicta has something for everyone. I encourage you to check out some of their other models, but it is just a stunning piece. I have to say it's in my top 5 now, if not number 1. And I do think I have to give it the number 1 spot. I just absolutely love this, and I hope, based on the price, I don't think this is a super popular watch because they have a great deal going on right now. Again, I'll put the links in the description where you can pick this up for the best deal. I got this for I had a coupon also, so I got this for $189 shipped. Unbelievable. Now, you're probably not going to be able to get that same deal, but still, this watch, anytime you're under $250, you're getting a great deal with Invicta Reserve. Under $300, you're definitely fair. Again, it depends on the model, depends on the supply and demand, but this is just a piece. If you are an Invicta collector, you gotta get one of these. Just a tank of a watch. I like it so much, I'm already like, oh man, maybe I should just get the blue. So it is just an amazing piece, guys. I mean, it will dwarf. Here's your standard size watches right here. Just give you guys, this is an Alexander watch. Probably going to throw this, I don't know. I've been throwing a few of these on eBay. But again, smaller style dress watches. Still beautiful. I mean, there's always a time and a place. But you just get an idea. I mean, this is your standard size watch, like your Rolex Omegas. I mean, look at that. And I know that guys who buy that, they wouldn't want something like this, but I mean, it's really hard to notice this little guy next to this tank of a watch. Unbelievable. So let me just get back also before we close on quality. My Invictas, I mean, again, guys, you'll hear people, oh, it's a 6-month watch. You'll hear these idiots talk. Don't listen to a word they say. These Invictas I've had, again, this one's a couple weeks old, but I've had some of my Invictas for, most of them are 5 to 7 years, the older ones. No issues. Batteries are going to go, of course. Remember, with this particular movement, the Miyota, which I do want to close on here, the Miyota movement in this is going to be your very generic $5 movement. It's a very inexpensive movement. Plus and minus, accuracy is plus and minus 20 seconds. These movements, if you were to pull the watch apart, you're going to see the difference when it comes to quality of like a Rolex. Absolutely. This is very inexpensive. These movements, again, you get for about $5. They're great movements, though. They work. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just not quite I'd say the sexiness of an automatic watch. Even some of the ones Invicta uses. And Miyota makes automatic movements, too. It would have been cool if they did something like this with 5 automatic movements built in. That would be pretty killer. But it gets very complicated. The price would be a lot more. So, I mean, the price point's super affordable on this. You have a very accurate Miyota movement. Yes, you have a brand name movement. Again, it would have been nice to see a Ronda in this because some of the Ronda movements, like the Z60s, are fantastic quartz movements. I would say they are better than something like this. But you have 5 time zones. So you had to actually stuff 5 different movements in here. So this has 5 batteries and 5 time zones. The battery life on these is 3 years. So one thing I do with my watches, because I'm not too concerned with the other time zones working, to be honest with you, I don't set them. I don't really travel. It's just more for decoration, more for show. You can pull the crown out, leave the crown out on your quartz watches, and you'll save the battery life. It doesn't list how much you're going to save. The Rondas have a 70% power savings on most of their movements if you pull the crown. So a lot of the Ronda batteries are 5-year batteries. You're really going to stretch that. With this, time will tell, but it's easy enough to change the batteries. I've changed the batteries to many of the Jacob quartz watches, and they're just 5, very small button batteries. So still incredible, though. You get 5 years out of that. Now, I don't know. I assume that that's the same movement in all 5 time zones. But again, time will tell, and I'll always come back and share the information with you guys. And as always, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, drop me a comment, drop me an email. I'm always here to help, guys. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sure you did. It's a killer piece. Again, email address is in the description of our video. Links to any of the watches are in the description of our videos. If you do use my links, I do appreciate it. Always buy from where you feel most comfortable. And guys, have a fantastic evening and take care.